The wind cut through the barren Kansas fields like a blade, carrying dust and the scent of coming rain. For Jacob Miller, a third-generation farmer in the small town of Clearwater, it had been another long, unforgiving day. His boots were worn, his hands rough like sandpaper, and his heart weighed heavy beneath his flannel shirt. 2 years of drought had left his crops gasping, and with the bank threatening foreclosure, his family's 80-year-old farm teetered on the brink of collapse. He adjusted the worn cap on his head and climbed into his rusted pickup, ready to head home. That's when he saw it, a sleek black sedan stranded on the side of the gravel road, its hazard lights blinking weakly against the darkening sky. Jacob pulled over without thinking twice. Clearwater wasn't the kind of town where people passed by without lending a hand. As he approached the car, he saw her, a young woman, maybe in her mid-20s, pacing anxiously beside the vehicle. Her leather boots were dusted with dirt, and her manicured nails clutched a smartphone that had clearly lost reception miles back. "Evenin', ma'am," Jacob said with a gentle nod. His voice, though rough, carried a calm kindness. "Car trouble?" She turned, startled at first, then relieved. Her dark brown eyes softened. "Yes, my car won't start, and I haven't seen another soul for half an hour. My name's Emily." Her voice had the polished tone of someone from the city, smooth, precise, not like the slow, easy drawl of Clearwater locals. "Jacob Miller," he replied, tipping his cap. "Mind if I take a look?" She hesitated but nodded. In moments, Jacob had the hood popped open. His calloused hands worked instinctively, despite the glaring difference between his aging truck and the gleaming engine of this luxury vehicle. His father had taught him that machines, like people, always gave signs before breaking down. You just had to listen. Sure enough, 20 minutes later, after tightening a loose connection on the battery terminal and cleaning off corrosion with an old rag soaked in his coffee, the engine roared back to life. Emily's face lit up like dawn breaking over the prairie. "Oh my God, you did it," she beamed, her polished composure slipping into something warmer, more real. Jacob simply smiled, wiping his hands on his jeans. "Glad to help." As she reached for her designer handbag, clearly ready to offer cash, Jacob raised a hand and shook his head. "No need for that. Around here, we don't charge neighbors for a hand." Her brows knit together, confusion flickering into curiosity. "But you don't even know me." He shrugged. "Doesn't much matter. Folks help folks." For a moment, Emily studied him, not just with her eyes, but with something deeper, as though she were trying to decipher a language long forgotten in the glass towers of her city life. Then she did something unexpected. Instead of driving off, she closed her car door and asked, softly, "Would you mind telling me about your farm?" Caught off guard, Jacob blinked, but motioned toward his truck. "Sure, follow me. You're welcome to dinner. Might not be much, but we've got sweet tea and good company." That evening, under the soft glow of the porch light and the creak of cicadas, Emily sat at Jacob's weathered kitchen table, listening intently as he spoke about Miller Farm. How his grandfather had tilled these fields with mule and plow. How his father had weathered storms and recessions. How Jacob himself had spent the last decade fighting rising costs and dwindling yields. His voice was steady, proud, yet shaded with quiet desperation he didn't try to hide. Emily, meanwhile, said little about herself. Only that she was driving cross-country to clear her head after a messy breakup and a falling out with her father, a tech mogul whose name Jacob vaguely recognized from the headlines. Raymond Sinclair, CEO of Sinclair Systems, one of the largest technology conglomerates in America. It wasn't until she left 2 days later, after helping Jacob and his sister fix a broken fence and sharing stories late into the night, that he realized he hadn't just met a lost city girl. He'd met someone who'd been searching for something just as much as he was: connection, simplicity, meaning. A month passed. The bank called again. The auction date for the farm was set. Jacob tried to stand tall, but as he walked his cracked soil one last time, his chest felt hollow. That's when a sleek black car rolled down his dusty driveway once more. Emily stepped out, her eyes bright but serious. "I didn't forget, Jacob," she said softly, holding out a manila envelope. Inside was a certified letter, from Sinclair Systems. The letter detailed a private grant program aimed at preserving American family farms by investing in sustainable agriculture. The grant wasn't just generous. It was life-changing. Enough to pay off the debt, restore the land, and modernize operations. Jacob's hands trembled. "Emily. I don't understand." She smiled, tears brimming. "I told my father about you. About how someone with so little still gave so freely. About how you reminded me what real wealth looks like, and how far I'd drifted from it." He listened. "And together, we started something new. You were the first person I wanted to help." For the first time in years, Jacob felt his throat tighten with something other than frustration or defeat. He swallowed hard and, without a word, pulled Emily into a hug. The sun dipped low behind them, bathing the fields in gold. In the months that followed, Miller Farm didn't just survive, it flourished. With the new resources, Jacob implemented soil restoration, water conservation, and even built a small educational center to teach local kids about farming. Emily returned often, her own life transformed as she and her father expanded their grant program nationwide, helping hundreds of struggling farmers like Jacob. Years later, standing at the annual Clearwater Harvest Festival, Jacob, flannel still on, boots still dusty, spoke to a crowd gathered under the wide Kansas sky. His voice carried clear and sure.